you're calling out Jon Jones.
Yeah.
Right? That's the boogeyman. Like, Jon Jones is the fucking boogeyman. And maybe he hasn't died, but he's probably he's probably knocked on the door a couple of times, like, what's going on, Death? You in there? You know, Jon Jones has had some trials and tribulations, but who knows?
I think Tom beats him.
Who knows if Jon beats him? Jon might beat him up.
Yeah, he could.
Jon might take him down and fucking ragdoll him on the ground, like, you know.
Jon easily could, because we don't know how good Jon is either.
And we also don't know what happens to Tom Aspinall in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds.
He's
we have zero
because no one's gotten there.
No one's even gotten close.
There's so many question marks. Like, we don't know how good Jon is.
Right.
You can't tell me Jon's the best of all time, or he is the best GOAT, but you can't tell me he's the baddest heavyweight on the planet.
Is Tom Aspinall about to experience the most humiliating defeat of his career? Will Jon Jones expose the interim champion as nothing more than a flash in the pan? Or is Bones simply terrified of the British powerhouse? Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, a fight that everyone wants to see, but one fighter seems to be avoiding at all costs. Unless, of course, the price is right. We're talking potentially $30 million right. Or are we? The rumors are flying, and even Joe Rogan is getting fact-checked by Dana White himself.
We've only seen him smash. We've never seen him be the nail.
Nobody ever, right? And I thought
No.
Pavlovich was going to be the one that's like, all right, it's going to be a banger. And then he just puts him to sleep.
And he took Pavlovich's fight with a fucked up rib. He couldn't even wrestle.
Yeah, short notice too, right?
I mean, imagine you going up against Pavlovich, you know the only guys who's ever beat him was Overeem, and Overeem took him down, beat him up on the ground. And you're like, I gotta get this guy down. This guy's knocking everybody dead.
Yeah.
And he knocks him out standing. He's so fast for a heavyweight. But again, you're saying the right thing. Like, what is it like in the 5th round with Jon Jones? Because if you can't steamroll Jon Jones and he starts side-kicking your fucking kneecaps, you know?
There's nobody better with distance than Jon.
The best.
Like, nobody comes close.
A lot of that, too. You gotta, I know you've experienced that.
But here's the bombshell that has the internet on fire. UFC commentator Joe Rogan just made an absolutely shocking prediction about what would happen if these two titans finally collide. According to Rogan, Jon Jones would, and I quote, take him down and fucking ragdoll him on the ground.
This other guy is just a big mouth who's hot today. There's been so many guys who's hot today who are just gone. You know, Sergey was in the same position not too long ago. Now he's starting to fall off already.
Is this the most disrespectful take ever on the interim champion? Or is Rogan seeing something that most fans are missing? Stay with me as we break down all the expert opinions, behind-the-scenes drama, and the real reason this fight hasn't been made yet. Let's set the stage for those who might be catching up. The UFC heavyweight division has been in absolute chaos since Francis Ngannou departed the organization. Jon Jones captured the vacant heavyweight title by defeating Cyril Gane at UFC 285 in March 2023, making his long-awaited move up from light heavyweight.
Francis Ngannou is scary. There's a big chance that he could break my jaw. With Francis Ngannou, it's very simple. Get comfortable with the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is he knocks you the fuck out. He possibly fractures a bone in your face. That's the worst case scenario. You get real comfortable with that idea, and then it becomes easy. If he doesn't knock you out and break your face, you're smart, you're fast, you have a chin, you have great head movement, you can wrestle, there's a lot of ways things can play out. If I don't get knocked out, I believe I win that fight. I just gotta get through round 1, and I win that fight.
Since winning the belt, Jones has only defended it once, defeating Stipe Miocic at UFC 309 last November with a spectacular third-round TKO via spinning back kick. Let's take a look at that finish. Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall has been carving his own path of destruction through the heavyweight division. After Jones was injured before his originally scheduled bout with Miocic, Aspinall won the interim title and has since defended it against Curtis Blades at UFC 304 in Manchester.
This one, there's a lot on the line. But for me personally, there's a lot on the line. Manchester, defending an interim title, putting myself in line to fight potentially the greatest fight of all time in Jon Jones next, pay-per-view, all kinds of stuff on the line, mate. So I'm coming 100% to take Curtis Blades out as early as possible in the fight.
What makes Aspinall so dangerous? He has the shortest average fight time in UFC history at just 2 minutes and 2 seconds per fight. The man is a walking highlight reel. With both men holding championship gold, fans have been begging for a title unification bout. UFC CEO Dana White has even guaranteed that the fight will happen in 2025, but Jones has been notoriously dismissive of Aspinall, claiming that beating him wouldn't enhance his legacy.
Jones versus Aspinall, is that sort of the big priority, and you think that's the biggest fight the promotion can put on in 2025?
100%. I think it's probably the biggest fight in heavyweight history, and it's a massive fight in the history of the company too. It's a big fight.
Yeah. We know Tom Aspinall's down. Jones is kind of like on the fence, or at least that's what he said publicly.
Right.
Have you
It's weird.
How confident?
What's weird about that? Let me tell you what's weird about that. So usually, those guys say that behind the scenes and not publicly. Jon says that publicly, but not behind the scenes. Jon is a very unique individual to deal with.
Would you guarantee 100% we see that fight?
Yeah, I'll say 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, let's get to Joe Rogan's explosive prediction that has the MMA world buzzing. During a recent conversation with Brendan Schaub, Rogan made it crystal clear where his loyalties lie. When Schaub suggested that Aspinall might be the best heavyweight in the world, Rogan immediately jumped in with, "Who knows? Maybe Jon beats him. Jon might beat him up."
You know, Jon Jones has had some trials and tribulations, but the skill set and the ability to push deep into rounds is nuts. Like Jon fought, when he fought Gustafsson, he had almost no training camp. They said he barely showed up. Like, you know, I talked to Jackson about it, and Greg Jackson was telling me, he's like, he didn't even train for that fight.
Wow.
He didn't even train, and then he pulled that fight off in the 4th and 5th rounds. That's when he like really turned it up. So you're talking about a guy who hasn't even been training. And then you saw the real Jon Jones in the second fight. That's motivated Jon Jones. Because like, I'm gonna show you what the fuck is really up. And then he just beats the shit out of the guy.
But Rogan didn't stop there. He doubled down with this absolute bomb. He could take him down and fucking ragdoll him on the ground.
If I'm being completely honest, I feel like Tom's been such an that I don't want to do business with him. And obviously you don't get this far in a career being affected by fans or whatnot. But he's just he's 30, so he's from this influencer generation where you hop online and the t-shirt sales and all that. I'm past that type of stuff. I'm like, bro, if you had a little bit more respect, then maybe we could have worked something out, you know, but I just don't even want to do business with him. Like he just played his cards wrong with me personally. 3 years from being a 40-year-old grown man, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, the press conference, going through the whole shebang with him, I'd rather not do. Pereira on the other side, respectful, cool, barely says much. It's like, I'll do business with you. I would risk it all with a human being like you. You actually have the accolades to back up your shit. This other guy is just a big mouth who's hot today.
The veteran analyst then highlighted what he sees as Aspinall's biggest weakness. We also don't know what happens to Tom Aspinall in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds. We have zero idea. No one's gotten there. No one's even gotten close.
We've only seen him smash. We've never seen him be the nail.
No one ever, right? And I thought
No.
Pavlovich was going to be the one that's like, all right, it's going to be a banger. And then he just puts him to sleep.
And he took Pavlovich's fight with a fucked up rib. He couldn't even wrestle.
Yeah, sure.
Rogan isn't the only high-profile figure in the MMA world with strong opinions on this potential matchup. Former UFC double champion Henry Cejudo has weighed in, and his take matches Rogan's almost perfectly.
Tom Aspinall, wait, hold on. Hold your horses.
Let me ask you.
This isn't the real thing. You know, do the same thing that Justin Gaethje did when he beat Tony Ferguson. Took it off, boom. Do you know the statistics of people who become interim champs that never won titles? There's only been like 5 out of 20. You're speaking theory. I'm speaking
What if
facts.
Jones doesn't fight him? Then what?
Then he can say he's undisputed. They're gonna fight. And especially the fact that people are saying that Jon Jones can't do it, this is the that drives Jon Jones.
He wants to prove.
He wants to prove, all right, let me stomp on another generation. That other generation is that Tom Aspinall generation.
Yeah.
And that's a whole lot of money, so don't kid yourself. So the only thing I gotta say to end it, I'm just bringing tough love to a guy like Tom Aspinall. It's not the real it's not the real belt.
On his Pound for Pound podcast with Kamaru Usman, Cejudo said, "Heavyweight, I'm going Jon Jones, bro. I watched a little bit of Tom Aspinall yesterday. He's got lateral movements. Really, really good. But Jones is just too smart, bro.
So let's get into the pound for pound debate. Guys, right now you have 1 and 2. Alexander Volkanovski and Islam Makhachev. But where is it that you're going to put Jon Jones? I do believe in my heart, my wholehearted heart, that Jon Jones is not only going to beat Cyril Gane, but he's either going to submit him or he's going to stop him. I don't think this fight goes past 3 rounds. I think there's a new Jon Jones. So where is it that we put him? Because I believe he beats Cyril Gane. He's in the top 3, maybe top 2. He stops Cyril Gane. Jon Jones should and would always remain number 1.
Jones just needs to press him. Stay in the middle. Don't react. Find his wrestling. I think it will be easy money. I think he's still going to get paid that $30 million. Even more damning, former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez, who famously dethroned Brock Lesnar, doesn't think Aspinall has what it takes to beat Jones. Speaking on the Ariel Helwani show, Velasquez said, "No, I don't think he does beat Jon Jones. So me, just watching him, I kind of see his pattern a little bit in his striking, the way he comes in and strikes."
There's a guy named Tom Aspinall who's the interim heavyweight champion. You think he beats Jon Jones? Do you think he beats Jon?
No, I don't think he does.
Why not?
So me just watching him, I kind of see his pattern a little bit, and his striking, the way he comes in and strikes. I think Jon sees it too.
Okay.
So I think with that, just because again, he studies, man. He does his homework. You know, he's a master at this. He analyzes things. He studies you over and over again. I think just for that reason, he's gonna know what to do. So I don't think he beats Jon. No.
I think Jon sees it too. So I think with that just cause, Jon studies. He does his homework. He's a master at this. He analyzes things. He studies you over and over again. I think just for that reason, he's going to know what to do.
What do you think of Tom?
Great, obviously, you know, champion of the world. Amazing, you know, he's beaten some tough guys to get there.
You think he beats Jon Jones?
No, I don't think he does.
Why not?
So me just watching him, I kind of see his pattern a little bit, and his striking, the way he comes in and strikes. And I think Jon sees it too. Jon's studies, man. He does his homework. You know, he's a master at this. He's gonna know what to do. So I don't think he beats Jon. No. The simple fact is the way Tom, he doesn't have a pattern that's somewhat easier to find when he comes in and strikes. And I think you know what we're talking about. You know, a lot of things come with that. It's disguising your pattern. It's throwing fakes here and there before. But when he comes to attacks, he comes in and attacks. It's 100% full go. You know. He comes in, glides in, lunges in, and does his attack. Again, not that it's not effective, it is. You know, he's done great things with it. The type of guy that Jon Jones is, I think he studies them and he beats them because of that.
Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the money. There was a massive controversy when Joe Rogan claimed on his podcast that Jon Jones was asking for a whopping $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall, and that the UFC was willing to pay it.
So what happens when Aspinall fights Jon Jones?
Aspinall's one of the fastest heavyweights. He might be the fastest heavyweight in the history of the sport. I don't think anybody moves like that guy does. At a 250 plus pound frame, his movement's fucking extraordinary. There's some guys, they're just blessed. And then with Jon, it's blessed and his mind. It's not just, it's his personality, his like ruthless competitiveness. It's like he's not going to fucking lose. He's going to find a way to get you. And he's going to do it clever. He's not trying to take a bunch of punishment and to stand and bang. He's not going to point the center of the octagon. Let's go right here. We'll stand right here. Never going to happen with Jon Jones. You're not getting none of that, son. You're getting knees to the gut. You're getting your knees kicked. You're getting just laced up with elbows where your head's bleeding. He's going to slowly dismantle you and find a way to submit you.
This claim sent shockwaves through the MMA community. But in a surprising turn of events, Rogan has since retracted that statement. On a recent podcast, he admitted, "I had heard a rumor that Jon Jones wanted $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall, and I did hear that rumor, and I did hear that the UFC said yes. But that's not true. Dana contacted me and said that rumor is bullshit. So I felt obligated to tell everybody that was a fake rumor."
Is he doing
Peoria or Aspinall?
Aspinall.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Aspinall. I think they're trying to come to some sort of an agreement. The rumor is that he wants $30 million, and that the UFC's going to pay it. Hopefully, I hope they pay it.
I agree with him. Though. Him and Peoria would be the Pereira.
Yeah.
Sorry, would be the fight everyone wants to see. Yeah.
Perhaps.
Because he's been so dominant that kid.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, if it's going to happen, they're both 37. It should probably happen soon. But Jon is, the heavyweight champion of the world, and Pereira has challengers in the light heavyweight division, especially Ankalaev. He's supposed to be fighting Ankalaev. Ankalaev is fucking very dangerous.
Even more concerning for fans hoping to see this dream matchup, Rogan added, "Apparently, Jon is thinking about retiring. He should think about it. Give the man all the time he wants. He can fight whenever he wants to fight. That's Jon Jones. He's the GOAT, so leave him alone."
I had heard a rumor that Jon Jones wanted $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall. Dana contacted me, said that rumor's bullshit.
What do you think the amount is that Jon Jones would fight him for?
Apparently, Jon is thinking about retiring, and he should. He's going to have to someday. I'm not saying he should retire. I'm saying he should think about it. Give the man all the time he wants. He can fight whenever he wants to fight. That's Jon Jones. He's the GOAT. But at a certain point in time, you have to decide who the heavyweight champion is. And if Tom is the interim heavyweight champion, and Jon decides he doesn't want to fight anymore, and he could do that also, and then come back in a year and fight for the title.
Is Jones possibly using retirement as leverage to negotiate a bigger payday? Or is he genuinely considering hanging up the gloves as the undisputed GOAT of MMA? So where does this leave the heavyweight division? Dana White has promised that Jones versus Aspinall will happen in 2025. But with Jones potentially eyeing retirement or looking for a legacy fight against Alex Pereira instead, fans are growing increasingly frustrated.
And you were talking about Tom and Jon. Tom released that video blog a few days ago on the train where he was saying like Jon's side is holding up the fight. What is he referring to there?
Well, I think that, listen, Jon Jones definitely wants to fight. Just when and where is what we're working on now.
Do you feel confidence? I think you said Jon.
I'm very
in
confident
summer on first day.
that fight happens. Yeah.
Summer.
Yeah.
Let's break down this mess. It's been approximately 16 months since British powerhouse Tom Aspinall captured the interim heavyweight title. After demolishing Curtis Blades in just 60 seconds at UFC 304 last July, Brazilian heavyweight contender Jailton Almeida has even proposed a tournament format to keep the division moving forward, while the championship situation sorts itself out. But UFC President Dana White seems focused on making Jones versus Aspinall happen, stating it's the biggest fight we can make.
You mentioned Jon Jones. Is he going to fight this summer? Is that the plan?
Yeah, the plan is to fight Jon this summer. Obviously, when, where, and all that stuff is being determined. And yeah, my goal this year is to make that fight.
Your goal is to make which fight, though? Tom Aspinall or somebody else?
Aspinall. The Pereira fight is this weekend. This guy wants to move up to heavyweight and fight at heavyweight, too.
If Alex wins, could he move up and fight Jones?
He wants to. He wants to. I'll have to. Let's see how this fight plays out. The fight that everybody wants to see right now is Jones and Aspinall. And then there's no doubt that Pereira could fight the winner.
The question remains, will Jon Jones step up to face this new generation of heavyweight in Tom Aspinall? Or will he choose to retire with his legacy intact, leaving fans to forever debate what might have been? There you have it, fight fans. The complete breakdown of the Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall situation. Joe Rogan, Henry Cejudo, and Cain Velasquez all seem convinced that Jones would dominate Aspinall on the ground and expose his lack of experience in championship rounds.
But Aspinall, so far, the way he dispatched off
the Russian guy,
oh my God. And he's fast, but he's the same height as me, if not an inch taller, but thick. Yeah. And I was like, you're a lot thicker than I would expect. And the speed, that's the thing that I'm like, okay, that's the danger. But again, grappling, he's a black belt, but Jon is...
It's different.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. They got to fight. But if they don't ever fight, we'll never know. Because we had that with Jon and Silva. We had that with Silva and GSP. So all these fights we will never see.
But is that how it would really play out? Or is this precisely why Jones seems reluctant to take the fight without a massive payday? What do you think would happen if these two finally meet in the octagon? Would Jones ragdoll Aspinall, as Rogan predicts? Or Would Aspinall's explosive power and speed prove too much for even the GOAT to handle? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more UFC coverage and breaking news. This has been UFC Central, and I'll see you next time for all the latest in the world of mixed martial arts.